And I'm essentially an online coach, wellness coach. So I help people improve their energy and vitality. Yeah, so that's through sort of, helping people create like foundational habits, from sleep to better hydration to just bringing all of those points together. So first of all, a bit of my history, I suppose. Probably in 2006, I became a personal trainer, and I won't stretch this out too long, but over the years, I actually just got sick. I got run down. I got adrenal dysfunction. So it didn't matter, the fact that I wanted to keep fit and I wanted to stay healthy. Like exercise was just something that I couldn't manage. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the vitality and the energy. So I quickly learned that it's all very well eating healthy food and exercising and moving and all the rest of it. But unless you kind of like break everything down and come down to a base, then and start building up with great sleep and really start to increase your energy before you start to increase your output. Sometimes it's really hit and miss. So getting those foundational things in place have been so important for me. I had to literally strip everything back. I did do some lab testing, so I found various things that were going on for me. But stripping everything back is, I think, really important. And plus, that there's great parallels to things that you guys have already talked about, and like the way that we look at ourselves. But this whole movement, kind of like social media, how it's getting us to look at ourselves, or we're being in some ways subconsciously programmed by all this content. So, a few years ago, I had a female client come in. She walked up to the mirror and she grabbed her fat bits and she said to me, and she believed they were fat bits, by the way, I'm not calling them fat bits, but she grabbed herself and she said, "I'm so sick of this body." And I couldn't help just feel so emotional that there was someone hating their own body and loathing the way they were, whilst all along their body is crying out for nutrients, rest and recuperation, just to do its job to look after her. So that was a massive impact for me. And it wasn't till years later when I actually was like, having to go to bed during the day for a couple of hours just to feel normal, so that I didn't slip into depression. And I've had quite a bit of depression and memory issues and things like that stemmed from pushing myself too much. So for me, it's like it's become so important to like strip back and relearn some of these concepts that we all seem to hold on to that drive us into fatigue. So the mindset around getting healthier and improving your energy and vitality is so screwed up, because that's what the so-called health and fitness industry has done. So, that's a little bit about where I come from, and I've moved into now coaching online, because actually me being at a gym, training people, didn't do anything apart from feed their ego and feed my ego, because it's most of the time, and I know I'm putting people in boxes here and I'm narrowing it down. A lot of the time you've got trainers and you've got someone desperately trying to find something. You've got a trainer that almost wants to be liked and wants to be popular, also needs to pay £1,200 rent from the gym. So they need to churn over business. And it becomes this quite desperate cycle of what gyms and personal trainers are finding themselves in. So it ruined it for me, gladly, and I got sick from it. And here I am now, feeling so much better, building my own life and energy in my own terms. This whole subject about the way we feel about ourselves is, coming from someone that had many years of fantasizing about suicide and not taking part anymore. And yet all the time I was eating healthy and I was in the gym and I felt strong, and I didn't think I looked good. I probably did, looking back at the pictures. I was never happy. It got me to take a really serious look at regeneration before output. The pillars that I have is the first one is energy, so generation and protection, and then rest, and I call it recuperation and regeneration because, like, so many people look at rest as just being sleep, but meditation is recuperation. Qigong and movement can be regenerative. And of course, hydration, we drink our plastic bottled water and we think we're hydrated, but there's so much more to water. It's cellular hydration. It's not just washing out our stomach. Nutrition, the standard one, exercise, and the last one, not necessarily in order of importance, but thoughts. And again, how we're viewing what change. Everyone likes to use this buzzword, transformation. But what actually is a transformation? Because for most people, it's losing loads of weight, getting slim and looking the part, but actually they've run themselves into the ground. So they're just going to slip back and their results aren't maintainable. Vitality to me is like the engine in your car. And the energy is like the fuel that you put into your vitality, or you get from your vitality, the drive. Well, often for me, it's like finding out where the person is mentally when it comes to their exercise and how they feel about their body. So I like to get people thinking about how their body's doing the best possible job with what you're giving it. So it gets you to see it from a different perspective, that you're working in tandem with your body rather than you're just trying to, like you're trying to shape a rock by chiseling it, or, you're trying to work in tandem with it. So, because otherwise it just becomes, well, how can I transform my body? Okay, exercise is the best way. So that's the method, but actually they haven't got the energy to do it. So first of all, it's about the understanding of improving your energy and vitality. And the other blocks that start coming in is the sleep. We all know that an hour before 12 is worth 2 after. It's a simple saying, but it's so true because it's all about sticking to the circadian rhythms. Again, it's a mindset where people are trying to do so much. They're literally trying to get the last things done when it's dark and you need to be winded down. So even that change is important. Even, okay, so I wear these glasses. It seems like blue blockers these are. It seems like a strange thing to do, but I've had to do this because I got stomach issues, which meant that it affected my melatonin production. So I have to take extra measures to make sure that I'm winding down so that my body believes that it's evening, even though I'm on this call. So I think like around the house, we barely have any lights on. It's all salt crystal lamps. So it's all nice dim orange lights. So if someone came round here, they'd be like, what's the matter with him? I can't see anything. And when my partner, when she moved in years back, we used to have fights about, God, it's too dark in here. But that was a necessary change for me. And I see it so much with people that I work with, that it's that mindset of keep going, trying to get a bit more done. Lights are on, even cleaning their teeth in bright lights. The protection is thinking about the output. So if you're looking at someone's lifestyle, and first of all, they're already knackered from work, the mindset of, well, let's go to the gym, or let's do a class because it actually helps me with stress, is one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is it actually burning you out? Are you able to recover from your exercise? And actually, for your goal, is there other things we can do in the other areas that will help that goal without you having to use intensity of exercise or exercise as the means? I think meditation is a fantastic way to generate energy, as that kind of mind reset, letting stuff go. I think journaling for me is really helps generate a lot of energy. And that's an obvious one to us guys, but saying no to lots of things, you know. And the other thing that's been really great for me is being careful of like social situations when people are asking me to go out for meals and it's late. That used to take so much out of me. And I've learned now to go, you know what, during the week, I really need to make sure I'm at home, chilled out by 9 o'clock and in bed if I can at 10. So they were massive leaps for me. And I think that I know that when I start to coach people, it's almost a bit like, it can feel like you're treading on their toes in terms of like, you know, you need to start restructuring your lifestyle. But I think it's necessary when you need to make the most out of the energy you got or regenerate more. I think we've got to be so aware of looking after ourselves. And if we're in our business and we're rushing around, again, we're eking into that vitality if we're not looking after ourselves. So I think the consistency is, you know, think about times you go to bed, consistency, building up that pattern, building up a nice morning ritual. So it's a consistent hydration first. So you're checking off those points. For me, it's all about little changes that are consistent that you can build up upon, not like a plan of action that you got 20 things to implement straight away. The interesting thing in my research about hydrating at a cellular level, have you heard of structured water? A lot of people give themselves a hard time about not drinking enough water, but I believe it's quite instinctive. Like when you put a bowl of water down for a cat or a dog, you see sometimes they just go away from it. And you're fine because the chlorine's coming off of it. Well, the trouble is you've probably got pesticide farming residue runoff as well. I don't know if you can see this, but I've only got one part of it, unfortunately, because the other part dropped behind the thing and I couldn't get it. But this is 2 bottles that are put together, and people often make these when they start getting into structuring their water. And what it is it's like a top, 2 bottles screw into each other. You fill up one and you kind of swirl it, and it creates a vortex. And I can give you guys some directions afterwards, but the vortex is what structures the water. But the trouble is you have to have pretty good water in the first place. What I would probably do is put some Himalayan sea salt in it. What reverse osmosis does is draw the minerals, and so the water itself then becomes like a sponge, and you can actually start drawing out minerals from your body. Have a go at structuring the water. When I used to tell people that my water tasted wetter, it was a standard joke for me, because water's one of the most important foundational points as I see it, because if you can't detox, then you've got a backlog. As I go to talk about bottled water, like there's so many different opinions about the fact that you haven't got to worry about chemicals coming from the plastic into your water. But again, we're back to that whole level of your vitality. You know, just a small amount of plastic chemicals could really upset your hormones, whereas most other people wouldn't know it. Personally, I wouldn't drink that stuff if it was the last thing on earth. Because it's not going to hydrate you at all. It's just going to wash out your guts. So if you're going to drink bottled water, I would opt for glass bottled water. That would probably be where I'd start going to the supermarket. Or better still, some of the coconut waters are better. Or when you think about the water in cucumbers, I know it's a bit random, but you're talking about structured water coming out of vegetables. So that's why vegetable juicing can be a great source of hydration. You've only got to sit in a public place and watch how many people use water to wash their food down. It's like it becomes a habit. And when I'm sitting at restaurants and people say, do you want a glass of water? I'm like, no, thanks. They think I'm strange. So it's become such a habit to swallow down partially chewed food. And having your water half hour or so before your meal, one, you know, your stomach's going to be less empty. You got a better chance of getting that water for you quicker. But 2, you got the possibility of it not playing about your stomach acids and just increasing the amount and diluting your stomach acids. So you're looking for less stress when you're digesting your food. I'd like to know where your energy is the highest and when it's the lowest. I think that would be the best way of phrasing it, because that would tell me a lot about your sleep, what's going on during your sleep. I mean, sometimes it can point to things like issues with food. You know, if you're reacting to food, because we often get quite sleepy with foods that we're reactive to. That's really good if you're high first thing in the morning. I think that energy should be something that we've got a constant flow of. And I think having highs and lows can point to many things. Being low, of course, in the morning kind of stands to reason that you haven't rested well. That can point to many different things. It can, you know, like people that waking up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, liver issues, detoxifying problems, parasites, low blood sugar. So it could, that waking up in the morning not rested can point to a lot of those things. And then, as I said, you know, your energy through the day, does it dip in the afternoon? Have you got an issue with low cortisol? Because cortisol is the stress response hormone. You know, are you under a lot of pressure? So it's kind of a little bit more complicated than just saying, well, is it high or low? Mm. But it does point to some of those things. But the only way that you get clear about those things is actually testing your hormones, you know, which is for some people when they're starting can be too much. And that's why I concentrate on getting those foundational things going. One out of nowhere I think of is what I tend to use now and again is sleep frequencies on YouTube. Okay. So the frequencies help to, and I don't know the technical term here, but bring down the activity of the brain. So they've helped me loads, but nothing's helped me more than the reduction of light. Well, my bulb went in the bathroom about 2 years ago, and I just haven't replaced it. I literally use either the little tea lighters in a jar, or just other candles. Yeah, and we've even got a little LED light that's very, very dull that we put in the cabinet. So it's really, really low. But I wear these pretty much all the time. These glasses have been really great because what they do is they're blocking a certain spectrum of blue light. It's the blue light that triggers your hypothalamus to think it's daylight. I haven't worked up to the point where I wear these. If I'm coming back on the tube, my plan is to wear these with a cap. Do you think I look strange, guys, or will that work? To put it blankly and use expression, I can't stand that. Well and truly is burning the candle at both ends. And what happens is people do get into that pattern of having to use intensive exercise to burn calories. So, you know, I hate to go on about hydration, but you can feel tired from being dehydrated, you know, because your body's dealing with trying to get toxins out of your body. You can be tired because you're actually mildly allergic to eggs and milk, for instance, or you could get tired because of your choice of combining foods. So it's worth doing all of those things, keeping a diary and playing about with the outcome, because you may do better if you're sitting down and having, for instance, a piece of meat with some vegetables. That might not send you to sleep. You might be a mixed type. I'm trying to not talk about this too long, but it's worth playing about with those things, which again are foundational things, and just journaling and then see what your energy is like. Monitor your energy. You filled out a diary for your food, and you can put down what your moods are afterwards, so you can start to see patterns of what certain foods are doing for you. I want to get back to making sauerkraut with people, cooking my chicken soup. That to me, that's why I've got such an interesting community. I just made two big batches of sauerkraut, and I eat that pretty much every day. I love it. Do my chicken soup every couple of weeks and make some amazing dishes with that. Yeah, the bone broth. That's one of the things that I think helped me heal my gut. Again, these are such traditional, passionate things that we've got from our past. I just want to bring them into the now, you know. So the program is about building more energy and vitality so that you can make more impact in your life. I'm encouraging people to be more confident and comfortable in their body. And the foundational principles are the energy, the rest, the hydration, nutrition, exercise, and the thoughts. It's a 12-week program, so I take you through elements that are going to improve all those foundational things. It's not one of these programs that's like, go out, just follow this. It's more of a tailored approach that we get on calls and we talk through these issues. So my thing really is about parting all the experiences that I've had for the past 13 years of coaching people in classes, one-to-one, Pilates, martial arts, all these different elements, but also from my own journey of being shot and run down and depressed. So that's me. Cheers. The best thing to do really is to go to feelingamazing.com and just jump on my newsletter list, and I'll see you come on there, and I can, arrange to have a quick 20-minute chat, and we can see if we can get you some, quick little things you can go off and do straight away. My emails are very much me, Nigel from East London, with the passion that I think everyone's got the innate ability to be well. You just got to do the right things. If you've got any questions, guys, I'll just put my email in there. You can drop me anything you like.